Miss Red Vegan here. Melissa here for a special Q&A with my friend Darren, the very creative vegan. He'll be joining us. Oh, there he is. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to... Hey, what's up,
Hi.
Darren?
Just going to adjust my phone. There you go, so you can see my head.
I realized I can't use my microphone because it shuts off. I can't
Yeah,
hear
I just realised that as well, but we'll be fine. Did you
Okay.
use it when you did it with Style and Vegan, or?
No, I forgot.
Okay, that's fine. Good. You're looking well. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, of course.
Great, great, great. How's it in Boston today?
It's a little bit dreary day, but not too bad. A little bit cold and not very sunny, but
Okay. Your makeup's looking good.
thank you.
So it's 2 p.m. there, is it? Yeah?
Yep,
2
exactly.
p.m. It's not snowing, is it?
No, thankfully.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate doing this. What I wanted to set this up because you and I have been creatively collaborating for 1 year, believe it or not. And people that follow you may know that, they may not know that, but I thought it'd be nice to celebrate the anniversary by doing a Q&A like this and to talk about vegan marketing, vegan businesses, because I think even a lot of people that follow you probably don't know how much experience you do have in vegan businesses and that you used to run your own business years ago. And I thought it'd be a really nice opportunity for you to talk about that, for me to talk about what I do, and just talk about that in general, because I think, it's on a lot of people's mind right now, where they are in business, what they're doing, how the future is. I've seen a real change in what's happened, to businesses that I have been working with. And so I've got a number of questions I just wanted to ask you. You could ask me. We can just make it informal. But I want to thank everyone for following you for the past 12 months. I've been hiding in the background, editing Melissa's wonderful videos. It's a hard life, really. I generally edit them on Saturdays. So it's my Saturday morning I spend with Melissa editing her live videos, mostly of you and Frankie and your reviewing. And I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I created a vegan channel called Vegan Orb, and I was looking for someone to head up the channel. And I was looking online. I was on Instagram, and your Instagram grabbed my attention, like I think it grabs a lot of other people's. Just your description of who you were and what you were doing was really intriguing, and there was quite a mixture of content and pictures of you and art and other things, and I could see that your Instagram had grown really well organically over the time, and that you'd done that yourself. You hadn't been paying people to do it. And so, if I recall, I reached out to you and I said, "Do you do video? You're interested in that?" And you had thought about it, but you didn't know how to do it. So I offered my services and said, "Look, would you be up for doing some videos for Vegan Orb and also talking about yourself?" So that was 12 months ago. Wow, is that how you remember it?
Unbelievable. Yep, exactly. I can't believe it, though. The time's flown by.
And so we've got about 60 videos now, believe it or not, and about 1,300 subscribers, which is great. And I must stress they are quality subscribers. It's not all about quantity. A lot of you probably know that there's a lot of these sites you can go to that can give you tens of thousands of YouTube free subscribers over time. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make your channel look great. You get a lot of trolls. And I think I know you do a lot of work behind the scenes, Melissa, of inviting people to your channel. And mostly your focus is on Instagram, which I think is really strong because that you love doing that. You're really good at it. It's your thing. And we'll talk a bit more about that. And my background is in filmmaking. So I wanted to talk a little bit. How has it been for you then the past 12 months? I mean, the first video, I think you were on holiday when you did the first video, weren't you?
Yes. I actually just got on Facebook, it reminded me today that a year ago I was on St. Kitts, and I'm so jealous of my previous self because I would love to be back there. But yeah, I took that opportunity in St. Kitts to do my first video where I talk a lot about myself and kind of explain my background and stuff. And a lot of people, I'm sure, hopefully have seen it. And I know I get questions, and I'll I'll send over that one and be like, this is my, if you want to know about me, this is the video to watch. So if you guys haven't checked out my very first video that I filmed in St. Kitts, go back and look at that after we're done, after you're done watching us live here right now.
Yeah, I love the way that you get a lot of those questions like, how long have you been vegan? Are you single? And you always say, go see my first video. But I think that video is the most watched out of all your videos, and it's got the most comments. So that's good. And you were in St. Kitts, weren't you? You were in, and then,
Yeah.
but then you came back, and I think I edited some of you in your apartments, in your old apartments where you used to live. You've moved since.
I have moved since. A lot has happened. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And now we're all in our apartments a bit too long. So I'm interested, out of the 60 videos, which ones stick out for you that you've done? I mean, I know we've done a lot. If people haven't seen a lot of them, I mean, they can check them out later, but mostly they're your Monday 5 Live on Instagram. But you've done quite a lot of reviews of vegan products and brands and beauty products and food and T-shirts. I did produce some of the Vegan Orb where we did news, didn't we, in the vegan world. I found that those videos, they took so long to produce. It was just too time consuming, as much as I love doing them. But also I think the likes of Live Kindly do them really well now. And I think at the time we started doing them, there weren't so many news vegan channels out there. So as much as, but I think moving into this year, something that we have done before is to invite vegan businesses to send us videos of their own businesses. And I wanted to say to people, stick around to the end of this Q&A, because we're going to make you can send, Melissa's going to say you can send Melissa things and she'll gladly review them, which she does really well. And I'll gladly put videos, if you do a short video about your business, on Melissa's channel or on my channel, but stick around to the end and we can tell you more about that. So anyway, back to the question, which videos stick out for you that we've done?
Gosh, there's so many. I like the ones, because my favorite time of year is the summer. I like the ones where I was able to do my live video out by my pool here at my apartment complex. Those were really fun. My neighbors probably thought it was pretty strange, but I enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing this summer. Hopefully it'll be nice.
They do have the grooviest thumbnails of the different bikinis you kept wearing it every week.
That's right. I have a million bathing suits, so it's a great, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many that I've enjoyed.
When does that season kick in again? Potentially?
Probably
May?
June. Probably, yeah.
Okay.
You never know in New England, but
I did like the one you did about Me Too, where you talk quite at length about issues around feminism and books that you'd read. And I think it might surprise a few people if they go back and check that one out, because there's a real different side to you where it's very heartfelt and you talk about, things that have affected you in your life. I particularly like that one. That actually was surprising to me as a guy, hearing a woman talk about those things so openly. And I know you come across, you have a lot of fun aspects about you, and the energy that you have is really great. And I do like the ones where Frankie turns up.
Yeah.
Occasionally. We have had a few ideas, haven't we? We wanted Frankie Goes to the Movies, and where we talk about favourite movies. But I think it surprises people when you tell them you don't have a television, because they say, what do you watch? And you're like, but you did subscribe to Netflix online.
I did recently give in, and I've been watching movies on iPad because, of course, being stuck at home. Yeah, I have to give in a little bit on my ways. Before, having a TV I never used it because I was never home. But now I'm home all the time, so I have been watching a lot.
So when you were married previously, did you have a TV then?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
When I moved out on my own, it was part of my exploring and learning about myself was to see what I could live without. So I moved. I didn't have a microwave. I didn't have a dishwasher in my first place. I didn't have a TV. I want to see what I needed in my life. And I realized I do need a dishwasher. So I have that in this apartment. That was very important. But
Mhm.
I living without a TV, I still enjoy.
And talking about just keeping with you for the moment. So, tell me again, because you used to run a business, didn't you? How many years ago was that, and what was the
Yeah,
actual
my
business?
gosh. Without doing the actual math and looking up to see, probably about 9 years ago, I started a company called Ecolissa that I had for 4 years. It was all self-run, self-financed. I did everything for it. I sold eco-friendly women's clothing and accessories online and at like markets. And it was a passion project of mine. It was something I always wanted to do. I learned so much. That's actually when I started my Instagram. Was so my very first followers on Instagram probably remember Ecolissa. But yeah, it lasted for 4 years before it was no longer enjoyable and no longer um, what I wanted it to be. So I gave it up, but it was a great learning experience. And I expect someday, my MBA is in entrepreneurship. So I expect someday I will have another business.
And were you branded as Miss Red Vegan then when you were doing that shop?
No, 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 not at all. So I changed my Instagram name probably 2 years ago. Um, Before that, I was like just my first initial and my maiden name.
Okay.
So it was like it just looked like a random string of letters back then. And about 2 years ago, I decided to start taking Instagram seriously again since closing my business down, and that's when I changed to Miss Red Vegan.
So bit of a memory jog. So 4 years in business. What worked for you and what didn't?
Oh, well, I loved working with customers, which is something I know about myself. I'm very extroverted and love working with people. Um, what I did not work for me was doing all my own bookkeeping. Even though I have my MBA, that's not something I enjoy doing, and I hated every second of that. It was hard. Just
So you did
having
you
to
did
do
all of that. You didn't have an accountant then.
no, yeah, I did everything
Okay.
myself on QuickBooks, and I hated it.
Mhm.
Doing the businessy parts, the not fun parts. You know, that kind of ruined it for me.
I wanna chip in there because what I've done for the past 2 years is I've been working with vegan and plant-based businesses. I mean, I'm a vegan film director by profession, but I'm a marketeer. But speaking to a lot of them are in that 4 year window of they've just launched, they've not been
Mhm.
around for too long, and I've been to numerous vegan markets, and the same thing, like you just said, they're doing everything: the bookkeeping, the marketing, the product, and it's overwhelming for them. I find that they, like you, they just can't handle it all. And sometimes it's just a shift in mindset. I think it's important to oversee those things, but
Yeah.
trying to do everything, it becomes too much. Was that the thing at the end of the day? It was just too much for you to do. Were you tempted to
Yeah.
get someone else in? Were you doing that well, or was that just not
Um,
viable?
the business was paying for itself, but I wasn't making like a true salary or income from
Okay.
it. So, no. I mean, I considered at the time, trying to, taking out a loan or trying to grow it, but it it also just no longer was the same. I didn't have the same excitement for it anymore.
Okay.
So,
But your experience came in handy when you were doing it. I mean, you had the business experience. Did that
Oh
feel good
yeah.
that you'd actually trained, you'd done the education, and you were actually applying it? That must have
Oh
been good.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm very proud of myself for doing everything. From the website to all the marketing to, all the, like I said, all the bookkeeping and ev- everything. Um, so I'm very proud of myself for it, but it's a
Did,
lot too.
did you mention? I think when you were with Style and Vegan, you might have mentioned that. Do you have an idea or plans of branding Misread Vegan on certain things? I think. Did you?
Possibly. It's something I've considered. Whether it be a true business or just like a fun hobby kind of thing, I'm not really sure yet, but it's something I'm considering.
There could be the opportunity, though, on people who are watching this, that I want to stress in this whole Q&A that I think particularly in vegan businesses, it's how we can support one another in the community. And someone like me partnering with you to help you with your YouTube channel, and you help
Mhm.
my brand, that we someone could come up to you and say, well, you're Misread Vegan, you design the gear, the outfits, we'll do the rest, we'll do the accounts, we'll do the QuickBooks.
Mhm.
You might be tempted then.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
And there's a lot of that going on, isn't there? Really, I'm noticing that there's a lot going on. Yeah, it's interesting to hear that. And what customers generally, I mean, people are probably wanting to see stuff now. Tell us a little about what you produced.
So I didn't produce. I would find items all over the
Oh, okay,
world made with eco-friendly materials,
cool.
such as like hemp clothing, made in Canada since we couldn't make it in the U.S. Lots of organic cotton, fair trade jewelry from Africa. Like I just pulled stuff from anywhere as
I'm
I
guessing
found
at the
unique
time that was,
brands.
I'm guessing at the time that was pretty new, wasn't it? You were probably
It
one of the
was.
few people doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people, it was still early. A lot of people didn't really understand organic clothing. They'd be like, you don't eat it. What's the point?
Yeah.
So I found at markets and stuff, I was doing a lot of education. So I think it
So
was a
you're
little bit ahead of its time.
so you're 10 years a vegan now. Am I right in saying that or wrong?
Approximately. Yeah, I don't have
Okay,
an official start date. I wish
okay.
I had kept
I
better
know.
track.
I think you should just choose your favorite date of the year and just make that your start date. But anyone who's watching now who doesn't know how long Melissa's been a vegan, now you know. But you said 9 years ago you started your business, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
you were still in that bubble of a year being a vegan. Let me do something, and that energized you. Did it really?
Yeah, I was definitely very excited and passionate and learning as much as I could. And, I switched over my own wardrobe to vegan items. And my focus was really on learning about what materials were most sustainable and stuff like that. So,
How did you market yourself 9 years ago? I'm really curious.
mostly social media. So I had a big presence on Twitter and on Instagram, Facebook. So
Mostly photographs with lots of posts, or did you do any
yeah,
videos?
yeah, some
Yeah.
videos. Like I would do. I did a lot of fundraiser charity fashion shows, so I would post those online or behind the scenes of like my photo shoots when I would get a new season of clothing in. And I had a photographer come take pictures of the models, and I would do like
Mhm.
behind the scenes videos or whatever. you
And what
know
was it like when you went to the markets and met people? That must have been you must. Did you get a good reaction then?
yeah, yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of it. I have a long history of experience in buying, so going to the markets across the country was one of my favorite parts about being a buyer in previous jobs.
Mhm.
So I certainly enjoyed that part, and um, finding the right items to sell was really exciting when I had come across the rights, because I wanted stuff that was stylish, because
Mhm.
even then there were items that were sustainable, but they looked sustainable. And
Mhm.
that's not what I was going for. I was going for, I still wanted to look fashionable
Yeah.
coming up. A lot of my past was in the fashion industry. And so it was important. I didn't want it to look like hemp or like
Mhm.
it was, I like to be a hippie that doesn't necessarily read as a hippie on
Yeah.
first sight.
Yeah, I knew you were involved in that, so I'm actually wearing the hemp t-shirt company t-shirts today. Look, that's actually them.
Cool.
Yeah, so there they are.
That's
And
awesome.
it's such a soft, it's an amazing material. It's like bamboo t-shirt. It
Yes.
washes so well, and it's
Yeah.
so different to cotton, isn't it? It's
They don't
gorgeous.
wrinkle and
Yeah.
they just, yeah, they wear so well. They wash well.
Mhm.
They're easy to pack. Great fabrics.
Yeah, I think the main thing for anyone listening again is you've really, really got to love what you're doing, but you also don't, like you do, you don't need to produce the goods. You can
Yeah.
resource other vegan and conscious products that are out there. I mean, I've set up a Shopify shop this year, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm drop shipping and I'm looking for goods. It's just something that I don't want to produce them myself, but it's interesting to do that. So I'll talk about me a bit in a minute, but I'm finding this fascinating. So, what are the things you would advise people not to do? Like when you did them, you're just like, oh, back in the business day. Can you
What
recall?
not to do? Um,
Aside from doing all your bookkeeping and everything.
Yeah, I would say to be very realistic with the amount of work that you can handle, because there's a desire, especially when it's self-funded, to like want to do everything yourself to save money. And I think probably cut too many corners or don't necessarily. Um, if I was to do it over, I would have gotten a big loan at the beginning and had
Mhm.
employees and made it, not put everything on my own shoulders.
Yeah, it's like I like that business analogy. It's like going to a soda machine and you like putting 90 cents, but the soda's $1. And if you put in 90 cents, like all that effort, but you're not going
Hmm.
to get that soda. It's like how many businesses get to that point where they've done all of that work and it's that last cent that they
Hmm.
don't put in, and you can't, and you get tired and fall away. It's like that other image where you see somebody going through the tunnel. Like there's one guy at the bottom who's just, and there's this gold in the tunnel, and there's a guy who's at the top, and he's at that point, but he's just given up and he's going back the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's really difficult to know when you're at that point. But I agree with you. I mean, getting investments at the beginning, but some of the vegan businesses I've spoke to, again, a lot of their mindset is they're trying to save money and really cut corners at the beginning. And as
Yes.
much as that may seem that it's frugal, unless you're really going to invest and put that effort in, it's very hard to get the momentum rolling, isn't it? Sometimes. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, fascinating. There you go. You see, people that didn't know your business background. Have you got any items in your wardrobe left, or from those days, or are they
A
all gone?
couple. I have a couple things left over. Very few that have made it this long, but I do. Yeah, I still have a few things.
So, anyone who's interested, I know I'm not the good looking one. My No, but I have a background in filmmaking. I from 7 years old, I went to see Jaws with my dad, who's no longer with me. Sadly, he passed away 2 years ago. And at 7 years old, I went to see the shark eat people, and I was just fascinated. I mean, unbeknownst to me, my mother is terrified of the ocean, and so the opening of that film, when this woman gets eaten alive, she was just terrified, and she was trying to stop me from watching the movie, covering my eyes. And I'm 7 years old. I had the t-shirt on and a rubber shark. I didn't even know what a shark was, Melissa. I'm 7. I mean, what is a shark when you're 7? But literally in that moment, I was like, the screen, the darkness. I just thought, I want to be a filmmaker. It literally gripped me from that moment on. And then every week, my dad would say, "Do you want your pocket money?" We just went to see Jaws like 7, 8 times.
Oh.
And I'd go to school and I'd play the vinyl of the music. I mean, this is before DVDs or video, in front of a whole classroom, and I'd reenact scenes from the film with the music on. Just bizarre. Anyway, long story short, I went to film school for 3 years, did a BA in film and video. That was many, many years ago, 91 to 93. And then I did some work at MTV when I left there for about 6 months. And then I joined a company called, at the time, it was called Momentum Productions. And that turned into a 20-year job for me. Well, it was a job, but I ended up co-owning the company with my colleague who I worked with for 20 years, a guy who I respect highly called Guy Meyer. And we were called Momentum Productions, and then we changed our name to Firebelly. And in those 20 years, I worked on 2,500 movie campaigns. And anyone that doesn't know what a movie campaign is, basically the likes of Disney or Universal or 20th Century Fox, they have a movie, but they need to make trailers, TV commercials, radio commercials, posters, and they don't make them internally. They make the movie and they distribute it, but they don't make the creative. So they hire creative agencies to create the creative. And so it's an amazing job, you know, to make those trailers, to write the script, to edit the film down, to get the guy with the Marlboro voice to say, in cinemas now. You know, working with those guys, and all they do is smoke cigarettes and drink booze.
That's so funny.
And they just turn up into a booth and just read these scripts day and night. And they make a fortune. For one of those voiceover scripts, you know, a guy in America, they can make 10, 20, 25K just for like one session.
Wild.
And the good thing is sometimes they get actors in that are in the movie to actually, you know, work. And I work with Tom Baker, who knows him as one of the famous doctors, Doctor Who. And he did the voiceover to Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
By heck, it's Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit on DVD. Get your copy tomorrow.
Fantastic! It's my artichoke. Come on, Gromit, a bit more alluring.
Grab it on DVD tomorrow.
And that session with him, I mean, I was just crying with laughter because he's a comedian. I mean, he's so energetic, and his voiceover was just hysterical. And so it was a really good time, you know. I mean, I worked on a lot of Tarantino movies, and a lot of Disney was our biggest client. But what people don't know is Disney used to own Miramax, that was owned by Harvey Weinstein. God bless him, not really. That's gone the way of, he's in prison now. And so they used to market films like Pulp Fiction, as well as Mulan and, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame and Monsters, Inc. So it was really creatively, I'd work on big Disney films, but then I'd work on films like Kill Bill, which was just great.
They left her for dead.
Don't you ever wake up.
Now it's to hell with revenge.
It's kill or be killed, and I choose kill.
Uma Thurman. Kill Bill.
And in that whole 20 years was the whole digital revolution. Because when I started, everything was edited on analog. There was no internet. There was no online editing. But all of that happened over that 20 years. So it was a fascinating journey for me to see that happen. And there was 3 of us in the business when we started. And at our peak, there was probably 25 of us working in the creative agency. And we were turning over a couple of million a year, not in profits, but in business. And we were doing like 5, 6 campaigns a week. It was crazy. I loved it. I mean, it was really great. It was but it was pretty stressful. When I look back on it, for me, it was just so intense. It was the pace was so intense that what I did, that it's almost like my life was just on this constant treadmill. Even when I was away from work, I was constantly thinking about clients and what they needed. I never had an off button. Mm-hmm. And every Christmas I would have the 2 weeks off, and I'd generally take time off, and then I'd get sick because I was so exhausted. And then come January, I was back into it again. So anyway, I quit all of that 6 years ago, made my own documentary, which you've seen. And then I decided I still wanted to do marketing, but I've been a vegan now. This is my 5th year. And so I wanted to do marketing for vegan and plant-based businesses. I wanted to take all my skills from filmmaking and put that into something that, to be honest, selling cinema tickets and DVDs, it's okay, but it's not saving the world. It's not really helping people live a conscious life. And no disrespect, I love the entertainment industry, but I wanted to do something a bit more. So I called myself the Very Creative Vegan, and I've been doing that now for 2 years. So for anyone who doesn't know, there you go. That's me. And I get to meet lovely people like Melissa and produce YouTube videos for her. So talk about how long you spend on your channel then, a day or a week.
Well, now I have a sick obsession with Instagram, and it's probably a problem. I'm on way too often, fully addicted. I wouldn't even know. I'm on it a lot. I mean, of course, not always posting stuff myself, but talking to people, and I really try to talk to everyone on there. I try to reply to people, even if I get 100 DMs a day. I try to answer everyone. So yeah, probably most of the time I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, I've moved to a room that has a better signal. I think it might have been my issue, Melissa, so sorry about that.
No worries.
And also, when you work in the gallery, they don't mind you working on your Instagram.
I'm so spoiled. They call my Instagram account the museum's second official account.
Oh, really?
Because I do better with views than the official account does. So now I'm spoiled. They let me do my thing while working at the museum. Yeah.
What are you on, 24K now or 25?
24.1.
Wow.
I'll be at 25 soon.
But I wanted to talk about just engaging content because it's so important. Again, another top tip from people watching this, that the one thing I want anyone to take away from this, I just find it's just consistency. So if you decide that your platform is Instagram, or if it's YouTube, or if it's Facebook, or if it's whatever it is, there just has to be a consistency to when you put content out there. And rather than, people get into a mindset of, even if they have a service or a product, somewhere in that process they want to sell you something. Everybody does. But before you get to that, there has to be no like and trust, where you've been doing it long enough that at that point that you say, well, actually, I can do this for you, then the person's not going to go, oh, you're just trying to sell something. I think it's different if you do have a service, like if you have a coaching program, or if you're trying to sell someone a product and you're doing a particular marketing campaign on that. But something like you're not running a business now. You're quite unique, and that's what I liked about you. You're not saying, like me, follow me, and I'm going to flog you misread vegan trainers. Not yet, anyway.
Right.
Or an energy drink. And that's what. But you are somebody that wants to inspire people with the vegan message, and that's why I felt that you were an ideal person to have your own YouTube channel. Because Instagram, video is here. It's almost 75% of engagement online now is video. Again, wow. This is something I say to a lot of my clients, and you've been doing a lot more of it, and you're a lot more comfortable doing it. So, I think it's really important. But could you talk a bit about that, about why making engaging content is so important to you?
Yeah. I mean, for a lot of reasons. I think it's important. I've always wanted to show people that us vegans, we're just normal people. Like, there's nothing weird about us, necessarily. I mean, there's weird things about everyone, of course, but I think a lot of things, a lot of the stereotypes have changed, but now, but not too long ago, people had a really bad opinion of vegans, and so it was important for me to show everyone that we're just like normal people. We just happen to research and learn about factory farming and take a stand against it. And that's really the only thing that makes us different from anyone else.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I wanted to say to people, YouTube is one of the best platforms now for engaging with your audience because people use it as a search engine. I mean, if someone's going to YouTube, it's not like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Generally, people go to those platforms and they scan, and their engagement with them is quick. Whereas someone goes to YouTube, they worked it out. Most people spend 25 minutes to 30 minutes on YouTube when they go there. So when you produce a video that, is a how-to, or someone's looking for content to learn something. And so that's what, I want to say, anyone who's watching this who is a vegan business, and if you don't have a YouTube channel, or if you're thinking of having one, it really is one of the best platforms to have. And there's a way you can optimize it. I could do a separate video on that, but people can contact me and I can tell you how to do that. But there's a certain way. And advertising on there compared to Google and Facebook now is a lot cheaper. And people will know when you go to YouTube and you see those ads pop up of a stranger telling you about something. They're basically an ad that someone's done. But you can have that ad run for, I think it's 40 seconds free. And if somebody clicks on it, then you pay for it. But you can run it for 40 seconds. And if someone doesn't click on it, then you don't pay for it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I did that for a vegan client last year on one of their campaigns, which was really interesting. But I think it's interesting to see how people are engaging with you a lot more on YouTube now. I think like anything, there is an engagement. It's not just a quick platform. And I look at how long people watch the videos for, and the fact that you do videos, most of them are like 10 minutes or 12 minutes. It's a good running time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, I want to thank everybody who does subscribe to my YouTube channel and comments and likes the videos. It means so much to me. It's really wonderful. So thank you. And hopefully you'll keep wanting to do that.
I enjoy it now because we've got into a routine of certain videos. And I know you've got a lot of other ideas. And to talk about this current situation, it's put you in a situation where, you've done a few more of these Q&As now. You did a longer live chat the other week, which was great. And again, this is time where people can double down. If there's that thing that someone's been wanting to do in their business and they've just kept holding it off, then this is the time to really think about doing it more than ever. And is this week 4 now or week 5? I think we're into week 5, aren't we?
For me, this coming week is going to be my 6th week at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
no end in sight.
The museum, is that true that they're thinking of not opening until September?
That's the rumor.
Wow.
So officially we were told, I don't know. I've heard different things. I've heard the end of June and then I've heard the beginning of September, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I miss it so much.
How's Frankie today? Is he there?
He's good. He's asleep in my bed right now. I'm surprised he didn't come out. He must be passed out.
Bless him.
All the extra walk he's been getting, probably.
I don't have my questions in front of me now, but I think I can remember them. I wanted to say to people, I offer a free website audit. If you're a vegan business and you're watching this and you have a website, I can do a free audit on your business which shows you what's working and what isn't. And also, as I said earlier, I think people, if they want to send you something to view, Melissa, I know you don't demand that. I know you don't ask for it, but I'm guessing you have. Could you tell us a bit about that, how that's been going? Because people do seem to be reaching out to you more for you to review things.
I love it. I do a lot of reviews for companies, vegan companies or companies with vegan products, not necessarily vegan. And I love it. It's fun for me. So it's at a point I haven't started charging yet. So it's a great time to do it. because I assume at some point I'll have to start charging. But as of right now, I'm doing it just for fun and for the, to try the new items. I recently got 3 shirts from the Vegan Profits, and they were so happy with my posts I did on their tops, their shirts. They got a lot of interest and a number of sales from it. So definitely contact me using the DMs, the direct messages here on Instagram is probably the best way. There's also, you can also email me from my bio. My email's there. So I'm happy, I love it. It's a lot of fun for me, and seems to work out great for the company. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, you again being an influencer and having, I think it's good that you're genuine and you're giving, your 10 years being a vegan. I mean, a lot of people, it's only been a few years. I'm coming up to year 5, but I think it's important to have someone with your experience review certain items. I mean, I have a group on Facebook called How to Grow Your Vegan Business Online. And every day, every week, as well as these videos, I'm putting up content on there that's really about helping people. It's just, but there's valuable pictures, there's stories. It's just generating that interest. And so many people now are online, self-isolating. Again, if I talk a bit about the vegan businesses, a lot of the ones that I knew in the UK, all of them get their main business from markets, and all of them have ended. Effectively, that was their main source of income, was to go to markets, was to sell their products. And so a lot of them right now are having to adjust, change their website, change their social media presence. But I want to say to anyone watching this is the time to do it. I mean, really to get behind it and to focus on, what it is that you want to say to people. I mean, the main thing, I say this to a lot of people, I think what you get back in value or what you get paid for, let's say, is equal to what you give in value. So whatever you give, you'll get back. So if you think of that, whether it's you're selling something or you're giving a service, how much energy you give that is reciprocated every time. And I think it's the same thing with marketing. When you do marketing that's really engaging, has good content, is authentic, it's not just about sell, but also you've got to solve a problem and stimulate a desire. I mean, that's marketing on a postage stamp right there for people that, know about that. You're literally giving something they want, or you're solving a problem. And then the other analogy is if I want to hang a picture on a wall, I need to drill a hole in the wall. But the only thing I'm interested in is the hole in the wall. I'm not interested in the drill, what color it is, how much it costs. I just need the hole. And so you need to sell me the hole in the wall, not the drill, because that's the thing I want. And it sounds really dumb, but honestly, you apply that to anything that you're selling. Think of the desired outcome. And it's like makeup, if you want to wear makeup, if you talk about the color and the packaging that it's in, and it's made by Kat Von D. But basically, if you say to people, you will look amazing and people will want to they start to look at you. That's what you want. That's the desired effect. Doesn't matter what color it is. Again, that's just another thing to think about. So we're coming up to about 10 minutes left. So I hope it's been interesting. I'm sorry about the technical glitches. I think that might have been my issue this end. And I wanted to say that, I've really enjoyed working with you for the past year. I think there's a real range in the videos. And again, if people are watching this and they haven't subscribed, please go to the channel. And again, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, for following you. And we'll just keep making. We'll do it as long as it's interesting, or we don't drive one another crazy. But I was also curious whether people now wanted to ask any questions while they got us for the next 10 minutes, and how easy. Can you manage that, Melissa? If you see questions coming up?
If anyone does. Any questions for us? No, I got some great people watching right now. Yeah, this is so great because I think not enough people realize that I have Darren in the background with my videos. So yeah, because I get people who ask me questions about YouTube, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like I have a partner who does that, and so
And
yeah,
once every week, this fabulous video pops up, and they go, "Oh."
yeah, I do not know about that stuff. And I think that's great advice too, is to partner with people with different skills. That's how we can all grow. None of us can do everything on our own. And I don't, that's one of the things I learned when I had my business. And so I'm more than happy to partner these days with people who, have different expertise. So.
But the thing I want to stress is, I mean, when we originally collaborated, I thought I wanted you to spend more time shooting the videos yourself and spending more time with them. And when I got to realize how busy you were and how many hobbies you have, and oh my God, this woman, she does so much. But I think it works for you when you do the live, because you get made up, you prepare yourself, and then you just do it.
Yeah.
And again, I think, that's a great tip for people. If you're sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to do? I mean, just keep doing it. Just progress, not perfection. Just do the content, keep putting it out there. And you'll screw up, you'll make mistakes, but it doesn't matter. Just keep showing up over and over again. And you don't, unless you're really annoying, or you're swearing at people. Particularly if you're a vegan business, that's how people in video get to know who you are. And it's great to have a great Instagram page with lovely pictures and quotes, but there's something about video. People I mean, right now, I had to move, the signal's wrong, I'm in my bedroom, you're there at home. It's not like we've rehearsed this. And hopefully people watching get what it is, And I think, if you someone who's watching who's really thought about doing it, just do it. Literally tomorrow, Monday, if you're self-isolating and you've got a business, just go to Instagram, just basically do a live and just tell people about who you are, why you set up the business, why you're doing what you're doing. Tell people what you did that day. Even if 1, 2, 5 people watch you, it's a start. Just go for it. Just do it.
Absolutely. So I did get a question from Mr. Vegas. Would you go into business again for yourself since you have a bigger platform and the experience? Absolutely. It's something I think about all the time. I just I haven't yet gotten that spark of inspiration to want to quite yet, or know exactly where, what I would want to do, but I'm always open. I do expect another time in the future to have my own company again. Yeah, 100%. So.
I'm going to ask you a question. Am I going to still do your videos when you're on Oprah?
Oh, stop it.
Because I saw you. Literally, I had a vision of you, because when you said the other week, Oprah, and I just saw you sat next to her, and she's very tactile. Mm-hmm. She basically places her hands on people. She does. I mean, there's literally a video on YouTube, and she does it in a way that's, it's not offensive, but that's her thing. And I just saw you sat next to her beaming, and she was like, Melissa, Miss Red Vegan, it's so nice to have you here. Tell us about, I literally I saw that. Anyway, there we go.
That would be a dream. That would be a dream.
I'm just putting it out there now into the ether, into Instagram. Yeah. Who knows? Oprah may come across this and go, "Who's this lady? Get her on my show." That'd be cool, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
I watched The Color Purple again the other day. Do you remember that? That was one of the first movies. She's amazing in that film. Okay. Any more questions, Mr. Vegas again? Avocado merch. There you go. See, you've got loads already, haven't you?
Oh my gosh! Yes. Yeah.
I want to do a T-shirt that's basically what's the catchphrase? That one when you go doop doop doop, like Miss Red Vegan logo, but also I don't know. the I don't know is great, and an image of you just like this. That'd be awesome. Let's do one. That's it. So we'll ask the question now: would anyone buy a T-shirt of Miss Red Vegan saying, "I don't know"? Wicked. So tell us what you're doing this week. You're holding up then, okay? Yeah. Are you're
Yeah.
taking Frankie for a walk though, aren't you?
Lots of walks. Unfortunately, this week there's supposed to be a bunch of rainy days, so that's not great. But I don't know.
Okay.
I'll do my best. Get through this.
Do you know anyone, friends and family, that have been affected directly?
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let's not go into that now.
Unfortunately.
There you go. Hey, yummy vegan. So you said that would be a good T-shirt. There we go. Excellent. So are you going to plan to do any more of these with anyone else? Surely there must be a few other people that would like to do a Q&A with you.
That would be great. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I'll throw it out there and see if anyone does want to do that. I had a lot of fun with my video with Style Vegan.
Yep.
Vanessa. So I'd be love to do it.
I can't compete with her rabbit story at the end.
I know.
I was watching that whole thing, and then she just comes out with this, like, oh my God. I was like, I've got 2 rabbits. I was like almost crying. She's just like, but that's getting a lot of views, that video. She's awesome. I don't know if she's watching this, but anyway, hi Style and Vegan. Thanks for doing that video. So summary. So I just want to say again, thanks for 1 year of working with you. I'm here in Somerset, Glastonbury. We've never personally met, have we?
No.
We've only spoke like this. We've spoke a few times online, and we've collaborated. Look, I want to say to everyone, it's not been plain sailing. We've had a few bumps. I did some things in some videos that Melissa wasn't happy with, and she corrected me on that, which is fair enough. It's like any collaboration, but generally you are, you've been really great to work with. And I've liked the fact that your attention to detail, you've trusted me with the process, because it's your life. It's your life. It's what, it's who you are, and that needs to be presented in an authentic way. So let's it continue. Again, I want to thank everyone, all the subscribers and people that watch. And it's nice being in the background. I don't mind doing that. But if anyone's watching this and you're interested in knowing more about content online or how to grow your vegan business, then just DM me. I've got a YouTube channel, The Very Creative Vegan. Got quite a few videos on there, not as many as Melissa yet, but you keep me busy. And you can find me on Facebook as well. So it's been great speaking to you, Melissa. We got any other last questions before we go?
No, I think we're good.
Wicked.
Thank you so much, Darren. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks. Happy anniversary, Melissa. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Anniversary.
Appreciate it. Bye for now. See ya.
Bye.